Hi everyone. Today on this video I make the frame for the Blitzen Benz. It's done, as you can see in the photo. Oh, I got to do other stuff like drill holes for rivets, all that stuff. This here is showing I'm getting rid of the plastic ones I made, the plastic brass nuts, and used an authentic ones. Yep, got them from my local hobby store. The tape just, I couldn't get it to look the same on all of it, and I wasn't exactly super thrilled about how the first one, it wasn't bad, it was passable, but I didn't like it. Just it had a texture to it, and it just interfered. I didn't like the second one at all, and I was going to go make all the nuts and go get some of that Krylon brass or gold. Hey, it looks the same to me. But instead I went to the hobby shop in town here, and they had some of these. And so I bought them, and they're pretty much what I need. So, can't say I didn't buy something. Obviously, I'm cleaning the frame rail after I done it. I think I had my mouth open. I think this is only one. I had to double them thickness wise because of I was afraid of rocking between the frame, twisting and warping 20 thousandths, 30 thousandths with 20 thousandths card over the top. Just, you'll see what I mean here in a minute. Maybe it won't, I don't know. Just straightening it out and smoothing it with some plastic cement. Funny thing of it is, I can't tell if this is a double one or a single one because I doubled them. You'll see it in the next photo. There. And that was a good idea, but man, I couldn't get that tape off that for the life of me. I was using that crummy brass tape to squish it down into the tape that's holding the plastic. I'm just cutting around it as close as I can without breaking something. Believe me, with them clubs and scissors I got, I'd try it. I hate that my utility knife blade or my number 11 blade falls out of my. So it has a nut to tighten in the back. I do that, and it still after a while works loose, like. So I'll pick it up, and the thing will drop on the floor, and I'm either in my socks or I'm barefooted, one of the two, and I need something I want to step on. But anyway, I got the two glued together. That is the left side of the car. I'm working on the left side right now. Just filing it up, making sure it's smooth, getting so there's nothing, just evening them out to the same. The first one was good, the second one needed work. The second one glued on. Now I'm splitting it. The tape, remember it's taped. This was a mistake. That tape, it pulled off, but it left. I've never had that happen before, and I used it quite a bit. So I don't know if I did something secretive that I never, or something changed. I don't know. I was having it stick to my fingers, big globs of tape boogers sticking to my fingers. In fact, you can see it string off the end there. And I went, well, I'll get rid of the mineral spirits, airbrush cleaner, whatever you want to call it, on the with isopropyl alcohol. And you'll see me hitting my fingers. Is it still on it? And I'm like, I'm just reapplying it. And I was moving my rag. Okay. Now I'm taking what's left of the tape. It didn't stick to that. I think it was the pressure I put on it. Now I marked that one for the left side, and later on I put a red dot on the right side. That way I can't get them confused. I needed orientate, so I have both U-shapes, the U-shape of the channel facing inside the car to the inside. And that's why I marked it, because I could see me goofing that up and have to make another one. So I'm cutting this out again just like I did the last one. Then I find myself saving the little snippets of sprue. What? Or little snippets of cardstock or plastic sheet, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I end up, throw it away like you're going to use it. I got a lot of sheet plastic. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other one. Clean it up. Checking to see which one. I'm using the left one as a guide, just to make sure everything is lining up right. Now I'm making I'm going to call them, the frame is U-shaped on its side. I heard English people call it C-shaped, but that's just the direction it's facing. We call it channel iron, but it actually was, I believe, stamped out. I don't know if they heated it before they stamped it or they stamped it out cold. I'm quite sure it's mild steel. This is mild plastic. Got a drop of carbon in it. Anyway, that was a joke. I'm marking where I gotta bend it, and I use my pliers that are like mandibles to bend round objects. Trying to get it. Notice I started on the left side. I'm clamping it way down at the bottom where the 30 thousandths plastic card is. Then I put that in there, and I always make sure to press down on the center or the inside of the rail, because it could be bowed a little, which I had it do. So they're all flush, and the rails I made are a little wider than they should be, because I couldn't get it to cut what I wanted. 1/8 inch is what I needed, and some of it was 1/8, and then I don't know, like there's a dish in the table or something. I don't know what it is. Clip that off. I'm getting ready to do the underside. It's not hard, but some of this stuff you get it to bend and it fits, and you put glue on it and it goes, I'm not going to sit there, and it wanders away, and you find yourself going back later and pushing it together again. This is the first one. I don't have the bottom front part done yet, which I'm doing right now. I had about 4 inches short from the two pieces I had. This one was really thicker than it should have been. And so I had to do sanding on it, which I knew I'd have to, and just didn't really want to if I get away without it. Right now I'm cleaning up the right side, which has a red dot. Actually red, it should, or on the right side it should be green. Red is left. Well, I'm going to let you watch this while I let the dog out, okay? Come on, girl. Come on, outside. All right. I am back. Just the same old stuff. Every time you see it stop for a little bit, that's a day or a time in a day before. So if you see it stop 4 times and switch to a different thing, that's another day. I waited a good long time for the stuff to dry. Not that it needs that long, but I had stuff to do around the house too. Sounds like she wants in again, her dog. She's barking. Either that or the cat's teasing her. Yep, I think she wants in. I'll let you go here. The next thing I'm probably going to make is the, what do they call them? The bushings for the front and back leaf spring. Come on, goofball. There you go. Come on. Okay. There you go. I got that little bit on the tip there, you see. Yeah, I'm back. My wife bought me a buttload of these little pink clamps. I use them all the time. I'm so happy she got them for me. I'd have preferred orange, but I'll live with it. They work good. Now I'm sanding the rails down. It's thinner on the inside up to the radiator, because how the car was made. It goes thinner, then to the radiator back where the motor is, everything else, the heavier stuff is thicker. The flanges are thicker on the beam. I would about bet that they did it all out of one piece. I bet they did it on one piece because of the arc welding was in its infancy, and even though it was used, I don't know if they had it perfected yet, because they did a lot of gas welding, and that would have been a bear cat to gas weld all that. Can you imagine how many passes? If you guys know about, well, you'd have to know when it was used in Germany in 1909. This is before World War I, and I know they didn't do a lot of welding. You know, the tanks were riveted together, ships were riveted together forever. Airplanes are still riveted together. Anyway, except for composites, I believe they're glued. Made them one piece and stuck on. But anyway, that's a different story for a different time. I'm always using the toothbrush to get any fuzz off, so I can see where any of the stuff is. And I keep thinning the rail on the edges so there ain't no burrs. What I'm doing here is I'm making what I told you I was going to make on this was leaf spring front bushings. Looks like it got the one on that one, so I must be doing the rear. I thought I had it on camera, but obviously Doug did not. I'm using a piece of sprue that I had from the Corvette C2, and I'm making the first cross brace, which happens to be right under the radiator.
Give the dog some water.
And, yeah, I'll get her some water. And it's first brace it's the first brace period, and it's right under the radiator, and right below it is the motor crank to start it. And there was holes in it. I don't know if it's for airflow or to make it lighter or both, but there was holes in this beam, and that's what I'm doing now. I don't know what I was doing, and I decided, let's do this smart. Am I talking to the same guy? I'm drilling the holes out for the starter. You can see little tick marks above that hole. And now I'm drilling the holes out. Then I broke a drill bit off. I'm using my compass to get the arc right. I went off the plan and see how high up I had to go to get the same arc for the starter, because it hangs down below on a circular, semicircle thing. There I was measuring to make sure I had it right. Probably measured it twice and cut it wrong. Anyway. This is for the, I gotta glue that together first. Looks like I'm actually adding the back. I am. Must not have did them first. Or I thought I did them all together, but I'm actually doing the back leaf spring bushing. See that front one there? Don't have one on. I'm cutting little V grooves and taking a small file and rounding it so it fits that bushing right up over halfway across. So the flange is halfway between the bushing. Is halfway into the bushing. I cut one off there. Okay, all the bushings are on. Magically. I got the cross member in. Now I got the cross member, I believe, is U-shaped. It could be a solid box, but I can't see why. U-shaped with a funny round thing on the bottom. And I'm gluing that on with my frame set at the right width. So I needed a certain distance right in the center of the countershaft drive sprocket, countershaft off the transmission. Because that was the width I could say I could measure, because you can see it on the plans from the top down. And so I did that. Now I gotta remember I added a good 15 thousandths to this fighter on both sides, 30 thousandths. And I allowed for it without that, so I had to go back and trim. This will not be seen at all in the car, because actually the seats and that are going to be over it, and there's a pointy looking fairing goes on the butt end of this thing, and you can't see any of this. So I could actually build this up into a transmission looking thing from looking through the cowling, because I'm quite sure they had a mount for the tranny too, and that acted as a frame member. So this is a bunch of trial and error. Then I measure it. Nope, a little more. But I don't think I wasn't worried spreading the frame apart like that. Eventually I get it. I think I got it. And then I reach up and grab a rubber band, not very tight. I'm cutting off those little tabs that were on the frame that you could see. The last thing I'm doing here is making the underside housing frame rail, and that fits flush with the front, and that fits flush with the front. I thought I could clamp it, but I wanted to roll off it. And this here cut to fit on the inside of the frame. I couldn't tell which way it went. It might have overlapped it. I don't know. Had a thing there that looked like it got loose. Anyway, the last thing I got to do is I'm taking some 10 thousandths card right there, kind of thinner, and marking the width. There's a slight gap between the top flange and the frame member. 10 thousandths filled it perfectly. Anyway, so that's about it on this animal. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, you didn't see my knuckles more than anything. Please like, guys. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to, but you could at least like. Please. Anyway, you guys have a good week, and see you later. Thanks for watching.